This is it, the final episode. After months of clinging on to this challenge and somehow still surviving, we have just 2 worlds left to go. And unfortunately for us, those are the 2 hardest worlds in the entire game. Big Wave Beach and Modern Day. Whether or not we can beat all of Plants vs Zombies 2 with double sunk cost plants all comes down to this very video. So let's not waste any more time and jump straight in. Well, here we are. The world infamous for pain, suffering, and octopi. But no octopi for now, because day 1 just consisted of your usual basics, which we could clean up using our usual stinger shroom strategy. Guys, our lily pads are gonna cost 50 sun. Lily pads are essential, and we're gonna have to use truckloads of them in this world, so this seemingly small increase in sun is gonna build up a lot in each level. At this point, why can't Dave just teach the plants to swim? Day 2 featured the bikini zombie variants, and I've always found it odd how they just added a cast of female basics to this world, and then they were like, let's only do it for this world, then forget about it for 10 years, then add them to Plants vs Zombies 3. Dave then proclaims it's Chomper Week. Here's how I decided to celebrate it. Not so Chomper Week now, is it, David Blazing III? We already lost 2 lawnmowers in day 4, which isn't too unusual at this point in the game, but hey, at least we don't have to watch ads for them. PZ1 Mobile. In day 5, we got to try out Tangle Kelp. Honestly, this is one of the most forgettable plants in the game. You can only use it in this world, and it's really kind of meh. I think I prefer its design in this game compared to the first, but let me know which one you like more. It didn't get as much of a visual overhaul as, say, Gravebuster, but it certainly looks different here. Day 6 is another one of those dumb levels that gives you the illusion of freedom of choice, but you really only get 2 plant options. Hey, that's also how democracy works in basically every country. The level introduced us to the snorkelers. Time warp doesn't affect snorkelers. Why? Does snorkelers just politely say no and time warp's just like, okay, understandable, have a great day. And it's actually caused us to lose. That's right, the first appearance of one of the least concerning zombies in this world made us lose. If you've played this game before, you know that this guy's nothing compared to what's coming up. After a couple more tries, I managed to win by brute force through spamming sunflowers and walnuts as much as possible. For our efforts, we unlocked the aforementioned Tangle Kelp. Kind of weird how it took us 2 levels of using it to unlock it, but either way, I think it'll be somewhat useful. The entire lawn was behind the shoreline in day 7, so every single plant's effective cost went up by 50. Reminder, they're already doubled. This made each sun shroom cost 100 sun. That is ridiculous. Needless to say, the level wasn't easy, but it also wasn't impossible due to a surplus of plant food. Day 8 gave us a nice break with some bowling ball bowling. Actually, I take that back, this is awful, the seed packers are broken like the far future Power Tile ones. Day 9 was pretty straightforward despite Dave's mold colonies, which is somehow growing on sand. Riddle me that one. Day 10 was an uneventful conveyor level. By the way, this is the 3rd level since bowling bulbs were featured and we still haven't unlocked it. Day 11 is yet another one. It's literally the same mostly given plants BS as day 6, but with Tangle Kelp swapped out for bowling bulb. You can tell this is the point in the game's development where they started to drill every new plant into your skull for 50 levels before letting you unlock the damn things. Honestly, this is one area where I think the first game excels at. Instead of squeezing your hand and spoon feeding to you how every plant works before you unlock it, Plants vs Zombies 1 just goes, here's a new plant you've never seen in your life, have fun and figure it out yourself. Since I'm a masochist, I actually decide to use bowling bulb to beat the level, and let's just say, never again. The very sight of a 400 sun bowling bulb makes me want to play bowling with myself as a pin. The fact that the game hyped us up by tickling us with it for 4 straight levels before giving it to us makes its uselessness all the more tragic. This objective and Big Wave Beach should go together like Snowpea and Torchwood. And only 1,750 sun too. That's like telling a homeless person to just buy a house. But somehow we did just that because anything is possible with a little bit of infinite and primal potato mine plant feeding. Hello? Did the devs at Slingshot Games just have a stroke while updating the game or something? Despite needing to valiantly stay under the skint 35 plant limit, we prevailed. Day 14 was a locked and loaded level and is this some kind of sick joke? Whichever PopCap employee decided on this plant selection, I hope you step on Lego. Day 15 was that one level with the endangered potato mines and a bunch of surfers and low tide spawns to blow them up. This one took a handful of attempts because unlike most endangered plants levels, these endangered plants don't serve any kind of purpose or help you at all. A lot like the Fat Beat endangered plants levels actually. These potato mines solely exist to make us lose. Their whole existence is to die. Okay, now I kind of feel sorry for the little buggers. Day 16 is just a gargantua fight conveyor, so I hope you're ready for some 60s surf culture facts. Did you know that skateboarding was originally invented by Californian surfers back in those days because surfers wanted to try surfing on land on days when the waves were no good? Instead of waiting for surfable waves, they just thought, why don't we surf on land by adding wheels to boards? They first called it sidewalk surfing before modern skateboarding came to be as the decade progressed. Now, this fact isn't about the 60s, but the biggest wave ever surfed was 28.6 meters tall. Or, for my lovely American viewers who still don't use the metric system for some reason, that's 38 Declaration of Independences tall, or about 450 Big Macs. On day 17, we had our first run-in with the notorious octo-zombie in all his leopard print cosy glory. If you can believe it, this zombie is going to be even more of a nightmare in this challenge, because his octopi disabling our precious double-cost plants is way more excruciating than single-cost plants. Luckily, it wasn't a nuisance in this level because there were like 2 of them the entire time. Day 18 was a conveyor level showing off Guacodile, and I never actually realized it, but this plant is actually really cool. Sure, it's not the strongest plant out there, but its dynamic functionality and interactions with the changing tides make for really fun and wacky gameplay. Oh, not this shit again. What's with PopCap's absolute obsession with letting you choose precisely 2 plants in this world? The level itself wasn't too bad, but I'll tell you what is bad. 250 cost Guacodile. I know I was just glazing the shit out of this thing, but no. However, you know me, I wanted to at least beat 1 level with this thing, so that's what I did in day 20. To my surprise, 250 cost Guacodile actually smashed it. I'll be watching its career with great interest. I like how when you freeze a surfing zombie as it's crashing into the shore, it just becomes a blue splash of water. That's genuinely all I have to say about this basic homing thistle advertisement level. I've been dreading this zombie since day 1 of this world. But then I remembered that this guy isn't nearly as deadly as he used to be since they changed his physics about a year ago. Instead of pulling plants off of their lily pads into the water, they now pull the lily pad and the plant together. This is actually a pretty big nerf to the fisherman zombie, which I'm not sure many people even know about. They can also hook onto empty lily pads now, but only while they're on top of water for some reason. This can be a good way of temporarily blocking their attacks. We had to protect endangered banana launches in day 23, which was quite easy with the Big Wave Beach anti-fisherman strategy. You know the one. Wait, how the hell did Dave get a hold of 3,000 sun worth of banana launches? Well, that's a pretty ominous thing to say, Dave. Anyway, let's keep going, I guess. Day 24 was another bowling ball bowling level. I still can't get over this. This is everything wrong with modern Plants vs Zombies 2. After a very close call with the final wave Gargantua, we made it through. In day 25, we had to spend less than 3,000 sun, which is absolutely terrifying since this is a late big wave beach level and a 3,000 sun limit is effectively only 1,500 sun in this mod. At first I tried Red Stinger, but it was just too expensive. Then I tried Colonel Pult, and I could get further into the level since they were cheaper, but I still couldn't deal with these copious amounts of zombies under the sun limit. Then I realized something huge. Most of the time what causes us to lose is these massive clumps of zombies, specifically after low tides. So I realized that we could bring Primal Potato Mine to blow them up, saving 200 sun over Cherry Bomb. This also negated the need to even bring a lily pad because we had plenty of land tiles to work with, so I could free up its slot for Stolia, a zero cost store to splash said groups of zombies down. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. We have unfinished business with Stolia. Alright guys, you know the drill. It's time to eat Stolia. Let's do this. I don't know why, but this feels like the weirdest one yet. Like, this is literally just flowers, but screw it. Oh. It tastes like spicy grass. Wait, that's actually awful. Oh. This is the worst one yet. I'm just gonna try and eat one mouthful. This is terrible. Don't eat flowers, guys. I don't think there's ever a real life situation where you'd ever actually want to eat flowers, but I tried it. Don't do it. It tastes like it's stinging in my mouth. Oh, there's no way I'm eating the rest of this. You know what? Just for the content, I'm gonna try and eat all of these at once. This is not gonna go down well considering what you just saw, but here goes.
12 seconds later.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Oh, man, I feel... Something doesn't feel right. I just feel... What is that? Wait, I think something's happening to me, guys. All in all, with 50 sun remaining, we beat the level, but this was by far the hardest the world had to offer so far. Thankfully, we could cool off with an easy banana launcher conveyor belt level in day 26. Still won't give us a damn thing though, despite first teasing it 3 levels ago. It's like you need some kind of license to unlock plants in this world. Day 27 was yet another one of these mostly picked levels, and oh my god, our banana's 4 digits long. This is our second and final 1000 sun cost plant. You already know I had to try beat the level with it. But that's gonna be quite the feat considering the absolute poo-poo Dave left us with. After about half an hour of attempts, I got so agonizingly close to pulling it off, but one snorkel zombie ruined everything. Why's it always gotta be one stray zombie, bro? Then I lost because of a single misclick. By the way, each of these tiny final wave slip-ups is a loss of like 15 minutes of my life because of how slow and long this level is. Eventually, we got on a winning attempt by playing flawlessly with our 2 banana launchers and army of twin sunflowers. I decided to place everything on one lane because banana launcher can attack in any of the other lanes, so there was no point making our entire setup vulnerable to fishermen when we didn't even have infinite to help us. And finally, after the game edged our banana for 4 whole levels, we finally unlocked it. Well, this is an enormous problem. In case you've been watching this challenge under a rock, 99% of our essential plants are ones we lose. Every zero cost plant, cherry bomb, primal potato mine, time warp. Going into this, I was 99% certain the run was doomed, but to my complete surprise, I beat it on the very first try. I just used up all my 5 lost plants on Tangle Kelp to eliminate early zombies while I built up our sun shrooms and red stingers. Then I made an infinite barrier to protect all of our plants, including the pre-planted lily pads. I also ensured the early death of surfer zombies before they could kill any of our plants over the barrier with their surfboards. And that was the level. Day 29 was the last stand level with effectively only 1250 sun, and every single evil big wave beach zombie. Rest in peace double sun cost challenge, it was great while it lasted. But then, in a state I can only describe as awe, I beat this one first try too, with a setup of 2 banana launches and an infinite. The ending was incredibly close, but we won nonetheless. People always complain about Big Wave Beach Part 2, but now everyone loses that privilege because I'm absolutely annihilating it with double sun cost level 1 adventure plants without any power-ups. If I can clean house like this at effectively 2 times difficulty, it's just a skill or experience issue at this point. Day 30 was this endangered crocodiles level, which really likes to troll you with a bunch of low tides and fishermen to activate the crocodiles. At first I tried Red Stinger, but again, Colonel Port actually clutched up here because it could hit the snorkelers. After about half an hour of attempts, I just barely managed to win by stalling this final wave gargantua out with lily pads and sun shrooms until the time warp reloaded by the nick of time. From there, I could just whittle it down and Colonel Port clutched up even more since his butter stalls the hell out of gargantuas. Red Stinger would have easily lost that fight. If this is gonna be another Dark Ages Night 18-esque level, then I'm gonna lose it. You know what, this could be even worse. Look at the state of that lineup. Somehow I have to afford 500 sun homing thistles with 100 sun sunbeans. I assume this would be just as terrible as Dark Ages Night 18, but there was one key difference here that made the level possible first try. Dark Ages Night 18 was a locked and loaded level showing off the Dark Ages Part 2 premium plant, and this was a locked and loaded level showing off the Big Wave Beach Part 2 premium plant. The Dark Ages Part 2 premium plant was Peanut, and the Big Wave Beach Part 2 premium plant was Homing Thistle. Case closed. And can you believe it? Not only was Dark Ages possible with double Suncoast plants, but so was the entirety of Big Wave Beach. The modern day key kinda slightly looks like a slot machine. The fact that that's the first thing I thought of should say a lot about me. I just wanted to say, it's been a lot of fun and thank you all for sticking around this far. Now, only one world stands between us and beating the entirety of Plants vs Zombies 2 with double Suncoast plants. Let's do this. Escaping Big Wave Beach is both good and bad. Good in that we can now abuse primal potato mine and stores again, and bad in that we can't clear levels with infinite again. Overall, I'd say that's a good trade-off because we're gonna need our stores for some of the crazier levels in this world. Day 1 was definitely not one of them. We unlocked 100 Sun Moonflower, and you probably think I'm gonna say it's awful, but to be honest, I think it's got heaps of potential. A fully boosted Moonflower produces 100 Sun, which is an excellent return on investment in this mod. Getting it to the fully boosted stage is also a lot quicker than waiting for Sunshroom to grow. The fact that we had over 1,200 Sun left over at the end of day 2 is a testament to Moonflower's power. I only just realized that Shrinking Violet is probably a reference to Zombie Nimble Zombie Quick from the first game, especially since it's in the throwback theme to modern day. If that was already obvious, let me know in the comments, but that's genuinely the first time I've ever thought of that. We unlocked Nightshade at the end of day 4, and usually I reckon this plant is pretty underrated, but at 150 Sun you wouldn't catch me dead saying that. That being said, I gave it a chance to prove itself in day 5 and we lost a mower. Nightshade, you're fired. Isn't it great that these ad offers are being forced to everyone now, not just new accounts? I hope this isn't Saudi Arabia already lining their pockets with that EA income. Day 6's 4,000 Sun goal was easy to meet by spamming Sunshrooms absolutely everywhere. The Octo Zombie spam of day 7 actually made it pretty hard, but we made it. If this doesn't return as one of those task things in Plants vs Zombies 3, I'm gonna lose it. Day 9 was a mess, but we prevailed. At the end of day 10 we unlocked Shadow Shroom. I can't see it being too useful unless we solely use it for its plant food ability, and that's just what I did to beat day 11. Well, isn't this just fantastical? On my first attempt, I tried to use Laser Beam to deal with the excavators, parasols, and chickens all with one plant, but I forgot just how hard it is to use such a weak 400 cost plant. I gave it a try with Fume Shroom and it went a lot better. Please, PopCap. You know you want to do it. Day 14 was a locked and loaded level that gave us a taste of Shrinking Violet, and it was a very delicious taste at that. We just clung on in the end, with no lawnmowers remaining, and this shrunken, poisoned Robocone zombie just died before it got to the house. The balloon zombies were just wreaking havoc on day 15, so I decided to bring Blover after a few failed attempts, and it worked like a charm. Then Zomboss gives Dave a taco that's apparently been tampered with. Dave's really about to get spiked. Now, you might think the modern day is based in 2016 because that's when the world came out, or you might think it's based on 2009 when the first game came out. But the world description says that it takes place moments before you left. This indicates that the world is actually based on when the game started, just before ancient Egypt. And that would be 2013 when the game first released. If you need more evidence, look no further than the very trailer for the game, which shows Dave using Penny to travel from 2013 back to ancient Egypt. So now that we've established that modern day is 2013, what are some facts about 2013? The words selfie and twerk were added to the dictionary. We're off to a blazing start. And you know what? I'm feeling pessimistic today, so here's another depressing one. 2013 was the first year in which smartphones sold more units globally than traditional mobile phones, or dumb phones as they're often called now. 4G was also rolled out around this time, and these two things were the perfect catalyst for social media to absolutely explode that year. In my opinion, social media has been a pretty disastrous thing to humanity. It's made people more divided, misinformed, addicted, you name it. I'm only 20 years old and I'm already having an old man yells at cloud moment. It's actually over. Then again, I wouldn't even be talking to you right now if it weren't for social media becoming so huge. The way I see it is I'm positively contributing to social media by doing my teensy tiny bit to dilute all the divisive content and AI slop with brain nourishing Plants vs Zombies 2 content. Speaking of positively contributing to social media by doing my teensy tiny bit to dilute all the divisive content and AI slot with brain nourishing Plants vs Zombies 2 content, I gave 300 Sun Dusklobber a go in day 17, and it was actually quite good. Moving forwards, this might be our main. Day 18 was rough and I could barely get a setup going, but that's what cherry bomb's for. Day 19's conveyor belt gave us a little breather before day 20, which was just more carnage. These levels are getting so quick that I can only get down 1 or 2 dust globbers the entire time, relying on instants to do the heavy lifting. Day 21 introduced all-star zombies. Much like every other insta-kill zombie, these guys are super threatening if they can reach our expensive plants. But we can prevent this by sacrificing puff shrooms to block their charges. Man, from getting eaten alive to now being used to get crushed by all-stars, puff shrooms been through some real shit in this challenge. Do it for the fans, PopCap. Day 23 let us try Grim Rose, which was a pretty solid tool for taking out newspaper zombies. But apart from that, its 150 sunk cost is quite prohibitive. We somehow beat day 24 without losing any lawnmowers. It wasn't until we'd gotten to this point, day 25's weird intensive carrot conveyor level, that it truly dawned on me just how close we were to beating the entire game with double sunk cost plants. If we can pull this off, this will be the most successful challenge run in the history of the channel. Like I was saying, day 25 kind of feels like the beginning of the home stretch for this game. This is both a good thing because we made it this far, but also a scary thing because the levels after this one get truly insane. But there's no turning back now, let's do this. Or let's not do this because we immediately lost day 26. Then I tried again, this time more carefully, and demolished the level. You added Vase Breaker to Plants vs Zombies 2, surely you bring this back to Plants vs Zombies 3. I beat day 28's Sun Goal fairly easily by spamming moonflowers absolutely everywhere. Day 29 also went down without issue. Now when I said the levels post day 25 get insane, I was basically just talking about this level. Modern day, day 30. This is infamous for being the spiritual final boss level in this game, and it definitely lived up to expectations. This flower line is just diabolical. It was just loss after loss after loss. However, I remembered that you could nullify flower lines using spikeweed. Yes, spikeweed of all plants is clutching up now of all times. That being said, it still took a few more tries because gargantuas would just ruin the whole strategy. But eventually I got on a run where we got good primal potato mine placements and a lucky lawnmower activation from a zombie to wipe out the gargantuas from afar. And with that, we beaten the level. Now all that stands in our way is day 31, which I beat first try. That's right guys, we've done it. Every single level in Plants vs Zombies 2 beaten with double sunk cost plants. I can't lie, I never expected this challenge to be possible, but against all odds, we did it. Next time someone says Plants vs Zombies 2 is too hard or pay to win, send them this video. I beat the entire game at double sunk cost without leveling up my plants, without using power-ups or Zen Garden boosts, without using Gemium plants for 99% of it, and without spending a cent of real-world money. Now, as a big thank you to you guys for coming along for this journey, I'm going to be working on releasing the mod for this challenge. But I'm not just going to be releasing the game as is with double sunk cost plants. I'm going to take a little bit more time to add extra content, which I'm super excited for you guys to see. So keep an eye out for the announcement. So I hope you enjoyed this series as much as I did, and I'll catch you all next time.